Top 10. Yep. Hey guys, this is your boy Bobby. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going through the top 10 most anticipated horror films that's coming out this year. Well, my anticipated horror films. I don't know how you guys feel, what you guys are looking for, but I'll let you know what I'm looking for. So let's go. Hey guys, so I'm going through my top 10 most anticipated horror films that's coming out this year. And there's some quite interesting movies that's coming out this year. 2018, we got a couple good horror films that came out. The most big anticipated one last year was Halloween 2018. Obviously, even though I have my thoughts on Halloween 2018, it was still a good movie, but Halloween is definitely one of my favorite horror movies, but we can discuss that another time. But that was, to me, the most anticipated horror movie of last year. But anyway, 2019, we're getting quite a few good movies. Well, at least I'm hoping some good movies that's coming out this year. So I'm just gonna, share my top 10 with you guys. So let's go through some of them right now. So, number 10, I have The Curse of La Llorona. And I seen this trailer probably a couple weeks ago, and it rung bells because I heard about this story, this ghost story before. And it seems like a very, very interesting movie. I mean, when I heard the ghost story like years ago, I always thought that it would make an interesting concept. And I remember when The Conjuring and Annabelle, all that stuff was going on, I felt like, hey, this would be awesome if this was a part of that universe. But it was no way that it could have been a part of that universe because, it wasn't part of Ed and Lorraine Warren's, files. So, years later, now it's 2019, we got James Wan that, I think he did the Insidious films and the first Conjuring, and he's producing this film. And watching the trailer overall, I believe you get some of the same jump scares where they got this camera focus on one angle and you see like a ghost or something happening, and then from a different camera view you just see a ghost pop out or something just come out of nowhere and scare the shit out of you. I mean, it gets a little repetitive for a while, so when I seen that in the trailer, it didn't scare me because I kind of expect that was going to happen just because all the other films and how they were set up. But throughout the rest of the trailer, it seemed like it's a really, really good movie, another good ghost story. And if you guys want to know more about The Curse of La Llorona, definitely Google it. It's big in the Latin community, and it's kind of chilling. It's really, really chilling. So yeah, that's my number 10 because even though I love ghost stories, I'm kind of over them at this point, but I'm still interested in seeing this film. So that would be my number 10, La Llorona, The Curse of La Llorona. So number 9, we have Annabelle 3. I just mentioned this, in the last movie, La Llorona, and I put this on my list because I actually like the second Annabelle movie. Annabelle Creation. I mean, the first one wasn't that good at all. I don't know what the hell was happening with that movie, but it just wasn't that entertaining. But they redeemed themselves with Annabelle Creation. And I recently watched that movie last year, and I watched it in the comfort of my own home. And that movie scared the living shit out of me just because how loud it was and the stuff that I wasn't expecting from that movie. So I'm curious to see what they do with Annabelle 3. I'm hoping that they don't mess it up. Hopefully it doesn't go in the same, realm how the first one was. I like how they did the second one. So hopefully it connects with that. One thing I could say about the second Annabelle, and the reason why I loved it so much, is because it was legit terrifying, and also it connected itself to the first one. Even though the first one wasn't that good, but it still tied in somehow with that, and how the Annabelle doll was created, and how the curse how the curse with the doll happened, and why the spirit attached itself to this doll. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this third one. We haven't received the trailer yet, but I heard that it's supposed to come out sometime this summer of this year. So number 9, Annabelle 3. Number 8. Number 8. So number 8, I have New Mutants. And New Mutants shouldn't be, and I keep telling myself this, New Mutants should not be so far down on this list. But I'm kind of getting fed up as far as why this movie keep being pushed back. Because this movie was supposed to come out a year ago or 2 years ago. And I know there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes as far as what's going on with this movie, but the trailer looked dope. It looked crazy scary, especially that is in a Marvel universe. It's like an X-Men film mixed with this horror, like craziness going on. And it seemed like in the trailer we have these kids that's like in this institution or asylum or something, and they don't know how to handle their powers, and you have people in there that try to tell them how to handle their powers, but all this crazy freaky shit is going on around them. But I can't really explain it too much because in the trailer it's not giving so much away, but it looks crazy, and it looks like a crazy combination of a horror and Marvel film combined in one. So if you're a fan of superhero Marvel films and horror movies, go see New Mutants when it come out. Hopefully, if it ever comes out, because now I'm hearing rumors that it's coming out on Hulu or another streaming service just because it keep being pushed back. And there's like, you know, artistic differences with the directors and producers, and there's just so much going on, and my anticipation from this film went from here to here. So that's why it's number 8. It's supposed to be in the top 5, but it's not. It's back to number 8 because I slowly lost, you know, anticipation for this film. So number 8 would be New Mutants. If you guys haven't seen the trailer, go check it out. You guys might like it, and hopefully, cross our fingers, it comes out this year. So yeah. Number 7. All right, so number 7, we have Brightburn. Okay, so I must have been living under a rock, you know, hearing about this movie, because I was just having a conversation with a friend, and we were just talking about movies over the phone, and he mentioned Brightburn, and I'm like, what the hell is Brightburn? And he described it to me, and he said, you know what, Bobby, just shut up, call me back, and watch the trailer, and call me back and let me know what you think. So that's what I did. I watched the trailer, and when you watch the trailer from the first time, you get pretty much like a Superman film. Like you see, you know, this family, and then like a meteor crash into their backyard, and then they have a baby because they always wanted a child. Because I think the mom was having problems with, you know, conceiving a child, and she ends up, you know, getting this kid that just landed in her backyard. And kind of like the story of Superman, they end up raising this kid, and he's ended up having these like superpowers. But it's different because kind of like New Mutants, this is kind of like a superhero film with a horror element to it. Like when you first watch the trailer, you think it's going to be like another telling of Superman, but then as it gets deeper into the trailer, it turns into this kid not having control over his powers, and seem like he's just like offing people and killing people using his, you know, his mutant powers, his superhuman strength. And the tone from the beginning to the end of the trailer just took a dramatic change, and I was not expecting it when I first seen it. So this movie looks really, really dope, and I can't wait to see it. It comes out this May. I think it comes out on Memorial Day, and it looks like a different take on a superhero film that's mixed in with horror, which a lot of films, I guess, are doing that now. So yeah, number 7 is Brightburn. Guys, go check out that trailer. Number 6, we have Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And I'm laughing because I've been hearing stories about this book being turned into a movie, and growing up, especially in school, like the images, like the front cover of those books are like scary as it is, and when you actually open a book and read those stories and see you read the stories and see the illustrations in there, it's fucking terrifying, especially for a kid. I mean, the pictures are more scarier than the actual stories, itself, but those pictures, man, it looks insane. Some of the stories in there are creepy as hell too. So I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with this film, how much they going to take from these books and turn it into like a film, and see how they go from there. And hopefully they take the illustrations from the book and somehow, form it and, just put it on screen and just see it come to life. That would be so awesome. So I'm interested in seeing scary stories to tell in the dark. They don't have a trailer yet, but there's been rumors that it's going to come out this year, and I've seen like probably a picture or two during production. So I can't wait for this film to come out this year, if that's what's, if it does come out this year. And if you guys are from, if you guys are just a millennial and you grew up with like Goosebumps and all that stuff, you have to know Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. So seeing this in a movie, hopefully they don't mess it up and they just stick with the horror element, because kind of what they did with Goosebumps, where they turned those scary stories and even some goofy stories, and then when the movie adaptation came, it was just a comedy of just really bad CGI. So hopefully they don't make the same mistake with Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and they go on a true horror element, and the horror, just stay true to the book, and I think all good would go from there. So Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is my number 6 most anticipated film of this year. Number 5, I got 5 on it, is Us. I'm sorry guys, that was corny, but I just couldn't help myself. But number 5 is Us. We seen this trailer on Christmas Day, because Jordan Peele made an announcement that he was going to put the trailer out on Christmas Day for all of us to see it. And we were all anticipating it because we got Winston Duke and Lupita Nyong'o from Black Panther. They were both in Black Panther, and they're both going to be in this horror film that Jordan Peele is now directing. And a lot of people, like, since he did so well with Get Out and the storytelling of that, and just the twist in there, and how he put like real concepts of what's going on in the world today into that film, a lot of people is looking forward to Us. So this trailer is, I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen it by now, because it came out on Christmas Day and it's now almost February. But this trailer is insane. Just seeing them battle their doppelgangers, and just seeing what's the point of it and what comes from it and why and all this is happening, and just hearing different theories of what people are saying and their different concepts of what's going on. I just can't wait for this film. It comes out in March, and this is definitely one of my most anticipated top films. Jordan Peele, so far, this is the second major film, and he haven't disappointed in Get Out, so hopefully he doesn't disappoint with this one. And I just can't wait to go see this movie. I probably will be there on day 1. So yes, number 5 is Us. Number 4 is Are You Afraid of the Dark? Now, if you are a 90s kid like myself, you remember Are You Afraid of the Dark used to come on Nickelodeon late at night, I think Saturday nights on Snick. He used to call it Snick, and he used to play all the more teenage, preteen to teenage adult stuff. Well, not adult, but teenage, preteen stuff on Nickelodeon. And Are You Afraid of the Dark was definitely on the list at late at night. And this was a horror show for kids. It was basically about these group of kids that come meet up at this campfire every time. I'm not too sure when, and they submit, their scary stories to tell for the day. And some of those stories, man, some of those stories were like freaky as hell. I could probably name about 2 or 3 that scared the hell out of me. And one of them definitely involves a clown. And if you guys know Are You Afraid of the Dark, you know which episode I'm talking about. There's a few clown ones, but everybody should know the number 1 clown, scariest Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. But anyway, I can't wait for them to turn this show into a movie adaptation, because the show itself was like scary as a kid. And watching it as an adult now, it's kind of goofy, but I can see how they can turn the characters and the different stories that we got in the show and put it into the film. And it's something that I feel like it would be really nostalgic for our generation, and maybe even for the newer kids that might want to get into it. They might want to go back and watch the old shows. So Are You Afraid of the Dark is definitely my number 4. I can't wait for that to come out. I think it comes out in October. And like I said, for my 90s kids, please, let's go see this film. Please, let's go to see this film. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. So, number 4, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Number 3, we have Chucky, Child's Play, the remake of Child's Play. So, it's been a crazy debate with this movie for myself and a few other people, because I was low-key upset that they were remaking this film, because the first Child's Play was such a scary and awesome film introducing Chucky, and you know how Chucky first came about. It was scary. It was, you know, it was terrifying. This doll, you know, a serial killer puts his soul into this doll, and you know, he's just going around trying to slice people up, and then put his soul into this little boy, and you know, fucking his family up. Like, it's crazy. So, and then the Child's Play series was good, I think, up until 3, or maybe even Bride of Chucky, and then the sequels after that just kind of just went downhill. They started to turn it more into a comedy, because Chucky was no longer scary. So, I could talk about that in another video, what my thoughts on the whole franchise is. But at first I was upset because they're still ongoing with the franchise. They're trying to turn Child's Play into a TV show. And you got Brad Dourif and Don Mancini, that a part of the Child's Play series from the very beginning. And they're still working on things about it. And then they're doing a remake without, you know, just without including them, and they still got their own thing going on. So now that the remake is going on without them, I was a little iffy about it, and I wasn't here for it at first. And even the first look of the doll that we got, Chucky, his name is now Chucky. We just thought the name was going to change, but his name is now Chucky. He's no longer a good guy doll. He's now called a buddy doll. And I'm just interested in seeing this film, because seeing where Chucky went throughout the years as far as how funny he is, and then watching that horrific mess of Cult of Chucky that came out like 2 years ago, and just watching that film. If you seen that film, like, I mean, it was funny, but it, like, why like, why? So them remaking this film and them starting fresh and using the technology that we have today, and making Chucky more into, like, you know, combined with your internet, and like integrated with your internet and your Wi-Fi, and knowing your passwords, knowing this and that. He's kind of like his own, like, router or whatever you want to call it. He's like a Google Home or Alexa, and having those things embodied into a killer doll, and just knowing all your information and just working on that. Just technology itself, is scary as, you know, as it is. So just by that, I'm curious to see how this film is going to go. And I'm not going to go rushing to go see it, but I'm definitely excited for it, just because I've been waiting for a Child's Play film that just go back to his horror roots. And, you know, Chucky is, you know, a legend. So I've always been a Chucky fan since I was younger, so I can't wait to see this film. So Child's Play, the remake of 2019, is number 3. Oh yeah, and by the way, the trailer I think is coming out in February, so I can't wait to go look at that, guys. And I think the movie comes out in June. So yeah, Child's Play, number 3. Number 2, Pet Sematary. Okay, this is another remake. Pet Sematary is a remake that I think the original came out in the late 80s, early 90s, if I'm mistaken. And is another Stephen King adaptation, because a couple years ago, we got Stephen King's It. And it seemed like we're in a world now where we all just remaking Stephen King's movies just because, you know, they're older, and they're trying to introduce them into a new generation and fighting the new generation of kids and people. So at first, when I heard about it, I was kind of like, this movie don't need to be remade, because the first original one was just a classic on its own. The movie itself to this day is terrifying. Just the atmosphere and the music and just the characters, and that fucking Zelda, like, she's not a main character in that movie, but she'll give you something to be terrified about in that movie. So that movie itself, and just the whole environment, atmosphere of that film, just makes you just feel like, ugh. So I feel like the original don't need to be remade, but being as though it already happened and we've seen a trailer, And the trailer looks great. It seemed like it's giving me that same atmosphere. I'm hoping it remains that way when we go see the film. So yeah, I can't wait to see what Pet Sematary is going to give. The trailer looks dope. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. And I think Pet Sematary comes out in April. So guys, let's all go see Pet Sematary in April together. All right. So yeah, that's my number 2. Okay, can you guys guess what my number 1 is? All right, I'll give you a hint. It's up here. The character is up here on the, on the back, in the background. It's It Chapter 2. Okay, so I can't wait to see It Chapter 2. It comes out in September of this year. The first remake was just so good. And I did have some problems with it a little bit as far as CGI and where they went with certain things. But overall, the movie itself was amazing. A lot of people like to compare the original TV series with the movie, but it's a movie adaptation from a book. So you can take that book and do whatever you want with it, but the thing I like about this movie is that they took a lot more information from the book that we didn't get in the original TV series into this movie. And it was just scary, and being as though that we didn't get like the 2 parts all in one, it wasn't incredibly rushed, so we just got to focus on the kids on the first half. And Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård, I've always been a fan of him. I loved him in Hemlock Grove on Netflix. He was already creepy on there, so when I heard that he was going to play Pennywise, the dancing clown on Stephen King's It, I got super excited just because he's just scary. I mean, he's a good-looking guy, but he's tall. He can do that crazy thing with his eyes already. I already knew about that. So when I heard that he was going to be in this role of this clown, I said, that's it. But anyway, yeah, the first one was just so good. The atmosphere in that movie, the just the realness you get with the kids, just like how it just seems like they were actual friends. They were real, and they was trying to defeat this, this entity together, and and they kind of succeeded. And just the characters themselves were just amazing. How the movie just went from the first half to the end of it. It was great. I've seen the movie 2 times in the theaters. I was just satisfied each time I went to go see this movie. So yeah, I can't wait to see It Chapter 2. It's going to be focused more on the adult version of the kids from the first one. And from the stories and the rumors, they're saying Pennywise is much more terrifying in this version. And even some of the photos that I've seen, it's going to be crazy. And this is going to be the last one. The only thing I hope they don't do is just, we all know that Pennywise at the end of, the end of the book and the miniseries, that he turns into this huge, gigantic spider. So I'm curious as far as how they're going to do that with this new one. They might change it from a spider, they might turn him into something more terrifying, more realistic. I wouldn't have a problem with that, because him just turning into a spider, even though they want to stay true to the book, but turning him into a spider is just, I don't know, it kind of threw me off. Like when I watched the original one as a kid, like Pennywise himself made me afraid of clowns. I was terrified of clowns. And then watching the second half and see him turn into a spider, it kind of like defeated all of that, because I'm like, oh, he's just a damn alien. And we already know that he's an alien, but I want something more creepier, not a spider. Yeah. So yeah, number 1 is It Chapter 2. It comes out in September. I can't wait to go see this film. The first one broke records, so I'm pretty sure this one will probably just do the same, because everybody loved Pennywise. So yeah, that's my top 10 most anticipated horror films of this year. And let me know if you guys got it in that same order, or you just got different movies on the list. So yeah, put your list down below, post your comments below, and give me your list there as far as what you got in your top 10. And yeah, I can't wait for us to go see these movies together and share our opinions. So thanks again, guys, for watching this video, and I see you guys in the next one. See ya. Bye.